If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also, go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. Lil Yachty's entire new album, Sonic Ranch, got leaked about a day or two ago, and you've maybe seen this, but maybe you don't know the exact details behind it. So why it got leaked, who leaked it, all of that. So that's what we're gonna look at today. So let's break this down. But first of all, what is this album? This thing called Sonic Ranch is not even sure if it's gonna be called that. Lil Yachty never himself said that word, but the leaker who leaked it now, they said the word Sonic Ranch, and that's apparently what they're gonna call it now. But the first time we heard about this album actually coming out was on an Icebox episode that Lil Yachty was on, and in this episode he was asked about his new music and what he was gonna do with it, and they kind of questioned him a little bit on it, and this was the first time that he publicly spoke about this new album. Here's what he said. He said, "Man, my new album is a non-rap album. It's alternative. It's sick. I've met all these amazing musicians and producers. It's like a psychedelic alternative project. It's different. It's all live instrumentation. I've changed my dynamic. I'm telling you, this album and on, I'm creating music a whole lot differently." And of course, it got a lot of people talking. People were excited because a lot of rappers nowadays switch over to psychedelic alternative rock sounds, heavy Tame Impala influence on Lil Yachty as well. He's been hanging around with them, did a song with them as well. So, he's been hanging around those dudes. We've seen Travis Scott also do that transition. So people are doing those transitions, and now it was Yachty's turn. Well, then the album got leaked. It's 13 songs. It's out there. It got leaked on leak.cx. You can look it up. If you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. I haven't listened to it because I want to support the dude. I like Yachty more and more. He just seems like such a genuine person, and I feel like supporting him is a great thing to do. So I'm going to wait till the album officially drops. But it leaked, and now we're going to look at the details behind the leak and who did it and why they did it and what this means for the release plan of this whole thing, also concerning a new Concrete Boys tape. Let's go over the info in chronological order. For example, Kirko, who you might know, famous blogger on Twitter as well, he also said one of Lil Yachty's upcoming projects titled Sonic Ranch leaked in its entirety today. The project is allegedly set to release next month alongside a Concrete Boys mixtape. And this was the information that we had for a long time, basically for yesterday, until we got some more info on this, because who leaked it, we're going to get into that in a second. But apparently this was supposed to release in January. Lil Yachty never confirmed this himself. I gotta add that to the list as well. He never confirmed that himself, but apparently it was going to drop in January together with the new Concrete Boys mixtape. So the two albums would release, side by side. Maybe he's doing that so that the people that don't like this new psychedelic sound, this new alternative sound, they still have some old classic Yachty music to turn to, but the ones who do want to venture off a little bit more into the experimental side of what he's doing, they can enjoy that, more alternative sound project. I guess that's just like a safe way to do it, in my opinion. Maybe that's the reason behind those two things releasing simultaneously. Well, then as to who leaked it. Now, Babalam in his video, he also said that the engineer who engineered the music, he leaked it. And it kind of, people were doubling down on that. For example, on Reddit, one person was saying Lil Yachty's upcoming album Sonic Ranch, quote unquote, as I said, that's not confirmed, has leaked, supposedly was going to be released next month, as I just went over. Leaker claims he's an engineer in an LA studio and that Yachty doesn't pay him enough money for his work. Mostly likely a faked story from Leaker. And the album has been described as a psychedelic inspired album with production similar to Tame Impala, as I just also went over. And when you actually go down that rabbit hole of looking at the post from this alleged engineer at that LA studio that Yachty was recording the music at, there is this picture that's been going around from a dude called Destroyer of Worlds, and he said due to drop next month alongside Concrete Boys mixtape. So that's actually where everybody got that info from. And he said, by the way, I am doing this because Yachty does not pay me enough money for engineering his work when he is in my LA studio. So apparently the reason that this dude leaked the music was because Yachty doesn't pay him enough. Now, the first thought that I had was Yachty seems like a really cool guy. Babalam said this as well. That doesn't sound like something that Yachty would do. Not pay his people enough. I don't think that is actually something that Yachty would do. Maybe it is the case, and I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, but still, that doesn't seem like a really good explanation to me. But as I said, I don't know it. Well, the second thought I had was like, why would this dude publicly come out and say that? Maybe it's like anonymous, maybe that's his like Discord name, but still they can track people down. Back in the beginning of December, when all of those songs dropped, Young Nudie was one of the ones that he got leaked the most songs from, and he said that he would find the person that did it. So why would anyone come out there publicly and be like, just to spite Lil Yachty? They don't have any benefit from this. They're just doing this out of revenge. They could have just, he would have gotten paid the same amount if he wouldn't have leaked it. You feel me? Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, next time, just evaluate or like discuss a better contract, a better payment system for it, whatever. So to me, this seems like I don't know what type of move that is. Just out of spite, just out of revenge, seems very weak to me. But still, why would you publicly do that? Why would you do? People are not sending these screenshots around. But you don't know. Yachty might be after you. I'm not saying that Yachty is a dangerous guy, but I'm just saying that why would you do that? So apparently, that producer, that engineer, leaked this entire album, Sonic Ranch, quote unquote, because Yachty doesn't pay him enough, and that's why he took to that leaked platform to, post the album. 13 songs in total, a psychedelic alternative rock sound, whatever that got going on. And people were talking about this. Yachty also replied to the leaks on Twitter. He has since deleted that tweet again, but he just posted like a sad emoji, like one of those like, oh, I'm not feeling good emojis. So apparently he took notice of it. Apparently that actually hit home because he's deleted the tweet ever since, maybe to not, I don't see any problem with the tweet, but I don't know why he took it back down. Maybe not to cause any more, commotion about it. Maybe he's also now on this guy's ass and tries to, get to where he's at. But obviously, leaking music is never a cool thing to do, especially if you're only doing it because you feel like you're not being paid enough. That, to me, that is a very weak move. Like, I actually don't like this at all. If you're, not happy with the way that things are handling concerning payments or concerning your due payment for whatever you're doing, then do that one-on-one with Yachty. Be like, hey, yo, I feel like I've put in a lot more work than, we originally discussed. Can I get some sort of bonus? Can I get some sort of royalty on this, better than I had before? Whatever. You just do it like man to man, face to face, and not in some like, oh, I'm gonna leak your music now because you don't pay me enough. I don't know why, but I feel a special type of way towards that. Yachty, we got to see what he's doing now. Apparently, he had 2 projects coming out in January. So first of all, Sonic Ranch, even though we don't know if it's called Sonic Ranch, and second of all, that Concrete Boy tape. If either of those will still be releasing, maybe only the Concrete Boys tape will release and this album will not release, and maybe a later version of it will release later down the line. We don't know that yet, but it's going to be interesting to see how he handles this. Let's see if January brings around the new Lil Yachty record. Let's see if it's actually one of the 2 records that we talked about today, or what the whole deal about this is now. Well, that's kind of what happened. We don't actually know who leaked it, but we know it was the engineer that was mad that he wasn't getting paid enough and he leaked it. And now, it's 13 songs, it's leaked, alternative rock sound, the one that Yachty has been kind of happy about releasing, and now it just did him like that. So I'm kind of sad for Yachty. I feel bad for Yachty, not gonna lie. Actually, I feel bad for Yachty. That dude is in the wrong, the engineer. What do you think about this? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you have any different types of opinions on this? All your thoughts on this, please let me know in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and you'll take care.